wanted to do a terminology video. What you see in front of you are the two most important terms in Thomas Nagel's essay, War and Massacre. And those are absolutism and utilitarianism. Absolutism is the idea that some things are wrong to do, and they're always wrong to do, no matter what. We are familiar with a form of absolutism from Kant. From the first week, we looked briefly at Kant and his categorical imperatives. Those are good examples of absolutism. And I'm not sure I would agree with his use of the term absolutism, but one way to think of it is under absolutism, some things are absolutely wrong, no matter what, and they can't be justified, and it's never moral to do them. Think of Kant's two categorical imperatives. First, that whatever you do, your rule of action must be capable of serving as a law for everyone. The idea is that's always true, and that you should never do anything, no matter what, that violates that rule. The second categorical imperative, that you should treat all people as ends in themselves and never as a means to an end. That is a rule that has absolute validity for Kant, in the sense that it's never right, it can never be justified to break it. So those are examples of absolutism, and in the way that Nagel puts it, some things are just wrong to do, period. Now, if you look at utilitarianism, which we're also familiar with from week one, utilitarianism is about consequences. It's about the results of our action. So that no action can be said to be right or wrong in itself, unlike with absolutism. Things are right or wrong according to their effects or their consequences. That's why utilitarianism is called a form of consequentialism, because it's the consequences or results or effects that determine an act's moral value. So if we think about the way that these things shake out in terms of rules that I follow in order to do the right thing, you might say, and avoid doing the wrong thing. Absolutism says there's some basic principles, and it's always wrong to violate them. In the case of Kant, again, one form of absolutism, but it's a very good example. It would always be wrong, morally wrong, to violate one of the categorical imperatives, irrespective of any results. Right? It's just wrong. And you don't have to, Kant thinks that the consequences of following it should not figure in. And of course, that's really what Nagel is struggling with here, because utilitarianism has a strong hold in this too. And it says that I should do whatever results in the most good or the least amount of evil. So utilitarianism says always try to maximize the good effects that come out of your action, and minimize the bad effects that might come out of your action. So really, I think Nagel's essay is very good, because basically what it says is that both of these approaches to morality have very strong holds on us, and that it is very difficult to balance them. It is, most of us would probably, if we really thought about it, and this class is your chance to really think about it, would say that we are absolutists in some sense, in the sense that some things are just wrong to do, no matter what. Say treating a person like a thing is always wrong, and that's what the second categorical imperative is all about. On the other hand, we are very strongly consequentialist utilitarians, too. We think that we have a duty to try to avoid, especially, bad effects on people from our actions, and to make as many good effects in terms of their effects on human happiness and welfare as we can. So those two terms, absolutism and utilitarianism, you absolutely have to know. I mean, there will be in a final exam. And if you don't know what these terms mean, then you don't have any grasp of what this essay is about.